1/4 inch seam. I'm Angela. You're in my sewing room, and it literally, it's been hot as blazes here all day today, and it literally, about 20 seconds ago, just the skies just opened up and it's pouring. You probably can't hear it. Maybe you can. It is pouring. So I thought, well, it's good. This is going to be a good few minutes to do my chit chat with you guys. We're going to sew on the butterfly quilt for a little bit. I've got to cut one more 2.5 inch square, and I'm going to do that, and we're going to add a length of sashing with the cornerstones, these little random cornerstones. We're going to do that right now. Holy cow, did I just avoid a disaster. I was about to cut this cornerstone and I realized that I had the pattern upside down. I have the fabric, the butterfly drawn upside down. That would have been a mess-a-roo. Okay, that's not gonna fit there. And it's not gonna fit there. But I better put a little marky mark on this. Can I ask you a question? Why do we keep markers that we've had for 25 years? And then we assume that we're going to open the drawer and they're going to work? Why? Okay, so, well, why didn't that work? That should have worked. Okay, that's all right. That's okay. That's all right. Don't panic. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to sew the cornerstones onto the bottom sashing. And then we will do that. 1, 2. Oh, I already have them drawn out. Okay, so let's do, let's just cut a couple from here. How was your day? How was your day? Mine was, I have a text message from somebody I haven't sent it back yet. Don't you love when you think of that and you're not in a position? That always happens to me. I'm in the middle of doing one thing and I think of, oh, I was supposed to respond to this person and I have forgotten, and I can't do it now. And by the time I'm done with this, I will forget. Wow, that just made a mess. Okay, wow, this is going smashing. And please don't ask me about the Ohio Star, please. I'm begging you. I now understand part of the concept of what I'm doing wrong. However, how many across the bottom? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 across the bottom. Okay. I just want to see how this is gonna work. That's what I want to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make this piece of sashing. And then 3 of those. 4 of those, 3 of those. And 1 of you. Anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic day. We ended up having a really nice weekend. Got some stuff done. Took a little drive. We didn't go to Cedar Key yesterday. We ended up going, if you guys have ever heard of the Villages, great shops and walking around stuff, and there's a PGA Superstore. What in the world? Anyway, there's a PGA Superstore over there that we like, and so we went over there and wandered around and got some stuff and just some golf balls. Okay. And remember, only a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, what's happening here? Everything's sliding. Hold on. My afternoon, however, kind of, it's like somebody put their foot on the pedal on the gas. And so the afternoon was a little bit more, I don't know. So you said, well, why was it stressful? I don't know. I just ended up with too much stuff that hadn't gotten. Well, you're just gonna. Why are you doing that? Maybe I have to do it this way. I don't know if this is going to work either. I think the problem is I've got the heat and bond on the one side and I'm trying to sew on the heat and bond on the sticky part, and it's just, the machine's not liking it. So let's just try it. Let's just try and psych it out. This is not going to work. I'm telling you right now. This way, I just changed direction. This is not going to work either. And yet it did. But now it's the wrong orientation. Okay, so now this one has to go down at the end. So now we're just sewing backwards. Okay, that's cool. And I think my seam allowance was off. It was. That's cool. Okay. We're going to have to experiment a little bit, because what do you do when you're trying to sew? I've just pulled these out. When you're trying to sew things together that have heat and bond, I think I'm going to try it without taking the paper off. I don't know if this is going to work. You can go ahead and guess in the comments. You all know, if it ain't going to work, I won't show you. Okay, I think that's how we're going to do it. And then I think when we get ready to kind of put the quilt together, we'll take off this paper and we'll take off the heat and bond backing. Because otherwise, when you're going to sew, the tacky part of the heat and bond sticks to the... So if you're going to use something different for your cornerstones, if you're going to use cornerstone, 2.5 inch cornerstone from your, the same as your butterfly squares, right? Like if you did your butterflies and there was room and you could do it, right? And you could do a 2.5 inch square from there. You've got to be careful or think it out when you get ready to do the sashing. My advice would be, the only reason I ended up coming up with this is because I cut my heat and bond too big for the square, for the acreage that my butterfly was going to take up. And so there was a lot of waste. And so we ended up deciding to use part of the excess on that square that I'd already cut for the cornerstones. But my advice would be, because you know this is quite the tutorial channel, my advice would be to cut your cornerstones. You only need like 12. I mean, come on, you don't need that many. From fabric, not with the heat and bond. Because now I have twice as much work to do for this one little area. And yeah. But like I said, there's only 12, so let's not panic. Just calm down. Okay. And then see this one I cut. Oh, okay. Put this guy on here. Okay. This is going to be cute on there. Oh my gosh. We're going to put this on one of the butterfly rows. I was going to do some other stuff today, but I really want to work on this butterfly quilt. And you know how sometimes your mind starts to get away from you a little bit, and you start to get a little bit antsy about other stuff that's going on in your life? Do you ever get like that? Do you ever have those times where, you're a little antsy for not really any specific reason? Like the stuff that I have to do for work is the same stuff I have to do for work every day. It's not a new day. It's the same crap. Different day. But anyway, yeah. And sometimes I think that doing something like this is, man, this is just God's medicine. Because you just get a few minutes to get inside your own head. I think of it as kind of getting inside your own head and I think sometimes you have to get inside your own head and tidy up a little bit and kind of, calm everybody down, right? Settle things down and kind of, okay, take a deep breath and reset. And that's what that's what doing this right now is for me. And I hope it's the same thing for you. Sometimes it's a half hour, sometimes it's, 45 minutes, whatever. Sometimes it's 25 minutes. But I hope that when you go into your sewing room or when you come in and pull up a stool and sit with me at mine, that you are just taking a breath for a few minutes, because I'll tell you what, there's just a lot going on, in everybody's lives right now, in the world right now. We have so much coming at us. We're in this constant information, overload that, I don't know, I think it's good sometimes to catch your breath. And sometimes you have to do that every day. I have to do it every day. I just realized I haven't really had any water today. I've had other stuff to drink. But okay. Ain't nothing to do but do it. All right. So let's I can't really iron that anymore because it'll activate the heat and bond, and I don't want it to activate to anything. Excuse me. All right, so let's just start on this side. All right, here we go. Close your eyes. Oh my God. I'm nerve-wracking. Okay. Ready? Sorry, and I should have covered my mouth, but my hands are all tied up. Sorry, I'm sorry. How rude. How rude. Jeez. No class, Angela. Okay. Here we go. First cornerstone's coming up. Okay, now let's just make sure this next little bit is lined up. Yeah. Okay, here we go. The next thing I have to do, and you know, it requires the same, actually probably less effort than coming in here and sewing with you every day. And that is, I got to start making time to go in and exercise for a couple of reasons. I've already told you guys I want to lose some of this weight. And I think that the missing ingredient right now is activity. It's just like some physical, you know, dedicated activity. Are we active? Yes. Do I eat all the best? No. Do I tend to... Okay, so I have some gummy bears after lunch. Jeez. But I just want to do that. You know, I want to feel a little bit better in my clothes. I'd like to look a little bit better in my clothes. And I don't want to be at the point where I... This is probably more information than you bargained for today. Sorry. I don't want to be uncomfortable in my clothes. I don't want to look good in my clothes. I don't want to buy bigger clothes. I used to be a tiny little thing. I mean, I used to be, okay, that way. Look at this. Super thin thing. But a lot of that was stress. And age. You know, when you're in your 20s, unless you, I mean, it's not, as a female, I don't find it as hard. You know, your metabolism is that of a race car. And, you know, it wasn't hard for me when I was in my 20s. It wasn't all that hard for me when I was in my 30s. You know, when I hit my 40s and beyond, I'm not saying the number. It got more difficult. It got super difficult. You know, you can hardly look at food. Okay, see him coming up. Here we go. Okay, first one. Oh, that shouldn't miss there. It is. Would you like to lay down, please? Okay, let's see if that. I may. We'll see when we see it. We'll decide when we see it. I may have to do this last one over. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it over. Because you can't sew on the back side of that heat and bond. Okay. I put it on upside down. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I'm not. Don't worry. I'm not going to freak out. How stinking adorable. This is going to work beautifully. Oh my gosh. I love it. Can you see it? The only problem is I have to take off what I just sewed on, because the little cornerstones, I put it on upside down, which is fine, because this last one I have to redo, because you can't sew on the bottom of the heat and bond. It's just weird. The machine, it's too tacky for the machine. But I am the rest of my points were, I'm sorry, but they were pretty close. How adorable is it with that? I'm so glad that I talked to you guys on Saturday or Sundays live, and figured out that we wanted to use that for the cornerstones instead of the green, because it's adorable. Okay, so I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna wrap it up for that today, because I'm gonna cut that out. And then get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow, hopefully I can put a whole bunch of pieces together and get this just about wrapped up, at least for the front. And tonight I'm gonna watch some more videos and figure out how to cut those quarter skirt triangles. But everybody's help yesterday about the half of 3.5 and the center was very, very helpful. So I think we're really close to getting it. God willing. Okay, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please hit the bell, subscribe to the channel. Every day you can come, pull up a stool, see what we're doing in here. Sometimes it's quite interesting. Sometimes it's a dumpster fire. You never really know. Bring a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a glass of wine. Doesn't really matter. I just love it when you stop by. The only thing to remember is, you know it, only a 1/4 inch seam. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.